you watch this whole video, I will buy you a pony. Good, I got your attention. I didn't have to use the jingle keys.
Jingle, jingle, pay attention, pay attention.
With the inauguration coming up, I figured this would be a great time for me to get in politics. It's 2 a.m., I've had a few, and I'm rolling deep. And as controversial as it sounds, I personally believe that the wrong person won. No, you're not thinking about who I am thinking about, who should have won. No, I'm talking about somebody completely different. Now, the candidate that did win, he's not going to save us from any zombie apocalypse. He's not going to enforce any mandatory toothbrushing laws, and he certainly isn't going to give every single one of us a pony. The man who I believe should have won, he is the only friendly fascist. He is a tyrant you can trust. A man who will promise you anything your heart desires, and like myself, has absolutely no intention of following through on those promises. I'm talking about the OG, boot hat wearing, pony promising, champion of the masses and dental hygiene laws, Vermin Supreme. To start, let's talk about who Vermin Supreme is.
Vermin Supreme will take away your guns and give you better ones.
And frequent presidential primary hopeful Vermin Supreme.
Vermin Supreme?
Wait a second, is that Vermin Supreme?
That was Vermin Supreme.
Vermin Supreme.
I came here for Vermin. I heard Vermin was here and I knew I had to see him.
And I am here with Vermin Supreme.
2 minutes to Mr. Vermin Supreme.
Born in 1961, Vermin Love Supreme is an American performing artist, political satirist, and activist. He is, of course, known for his many attempts at running for president, and he's been running on the platform of giving every American a free pony. His campaign promises are a bit unconventional, to say the least. A free pony for every American citizen? Check. Mandatory toothbrushing laws? That too. But most importantly, he wants to solve our energy crisis problems by using zombies to create infinite energy by harnessing the, quote, latest in hamster wheel technology.
Harnessing the awesome power of zombies for energy sources. It's not just to run away from anymore. No, we have giant turbines that we're working on, and we will have lots of zombies, and we'll just sort of dangle brains in front of them, and then they will turn the giant turbines, creating energy to lessen the dependence on foreign oil in America here today.
Now, I'm sure you're going to ask a very important question here, and it's the same question that I ask God every single morning. Why? Vermin is, in many ways, a parody candidate. He's poking fun at the absurdity of modern politics while also challenging how seriously we take the whole election process. Behind the comedy and the boot on his head, there's a message, mostly saying he's showing us how ridiculous this system can be. At the same time, he's also showing out the importance of making your voice heard. Vermin's campaign career, if you could call it that, runs almost 3 decades back. Vermin would go on back in 2004 to announce his candidacy for president. He would even participate in many long-standing debates along actual candidates. Vermin Supreme would use humor to create a contrast between himself and others, declaring that he wanted a pony for every American. And here's the thing, he actually got a lot of attention. Not because he was serious about winning, though he actually did get quite a few votes, but because he was asking us to think with our brains. Think about what we're voting for and why we pick the leaders we do. He is, after all, in his own words, a tyrant we can trust.
Come out with your hands up and your pants down. We have you surrounded.
Vermin would continue to campaign onwards. He would go on mostly as a relatively unknown candidate. However, in 2011, he was among a, quote, lesser-known presidential candidates forum, an event where, obviously, lesser-known candidates got to strut their stuff and let the world know who they were and what they stood for. And this was all on like a live television broadcast. Now, this is where he was given the floor, and on this live TV show, he let loose his manifesto onto the world. So just have a listen. In my opinion, it's worth the watch.
Yeah. Gingivitis has been eroding the gum line of this great nation long enough and must be stopped. For too long, this country has been suffering a great moral and oral decay in spirit and in incisors. A country's future depends on its ability to bite back. We can no longer be a nation indentured. Our very salivation is at stake. Together, we must brace ourselves. As we cross over to the bridge work, into the 23rd century, let us bite the bullet and together make America a sea of shining smiles from sea to shiny sea. Now, friends, some people will tell you that this mandatory toothbrushing law is about the secret dental police kicking down your door at 3 a.m. to make sure you've brushed. Friends, it is not. Some will mention the dental re-education centers or the preventative dental maintenance detention facilities. It's about none of these things. It's not about the government-issued toothpaste containing an addictive yet harmless substance. No, friends, it is not even about DNA gene splicing to create a race of winged monkeys to act as tooth fairies. Friends, what this mandatory toothbrushing law is really about is strong teeth for a strong America. My name is Vermin Supreme. I am a friendly fascist. I am a tyrant that you should trust, and you should let me run your life, because I do know what is best for you. Yes, I am a politician. I will promise you anything your little electorate heart desires, because you are my constituents. You are the informed voting public, and because I have no intention of keeping any promise that I make. Vote early, vote often. Remember, a vote for Vermin Supreme is a vote completely thrown away.
Even when facing opponents who had opposing views to him, he would keep his cool. Sort of, like when he was sitting next to an extreme anti-LGBTQ opponent, Randall Terry. Vermin would take it upon himself to douse Terry in a whole bunch of glitter.
Jesus told me to make Randall Terry gay with magic sprinkled up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Supreme. Thank you. All right.
He's turning gay.
All right.
Gay.
Okay.
I asked my old roommate what his experience was when I glitter bombed him and how easy it is to get stuff out. He did not care for it. Apparently in 2012, he also ran with the rent is too damn high guy, I guess.
I represent the rent is too damn high party.
2016 comes around, and this time he was actually banned because of the glitter bombing. This, however, did not deter Mr. Supreme. He would go on to continue his candidacy, and he would even rub shoulders with powerful, albeit controversial, people like Ted Cruz.
Senator Cruz, how's it doing, sir? It's really good to meet you. And I've been wanting to ask you where you stand on the free pony program for all Americans.
I think ponies are wonderful. I'll tell you, my little girls are big fans.
When, in a quick bit, talked to him about whether or not the water we use to waterboard people should include fluoride. And he even had a brief debate with Chris Christie on the Free Pony platform.
Why are you so anti-free pony? Chris Christie is against free ponies. I think we know this.
It's now 2017. We're over a full year removed from the most recent presidential election. And Hillary Clinton is on a book tour promoting her new book. And Vermin took this opportunity to begin his Right to Pony movement. I'm not sure if Vermin is a brony or not, but it sounds very brony-esque. At the same bookstore that Hillary was going to be at, he held a demonstration, or a pony protest as people called it, where he encouraged his followers to show up. Mr. Supreme also asserted that Hillary was not a fan of ponies, so in this protest he encouraged his followers to bring them. Now, this protest was taking place in the town of Concord, New Hampshire, and when Mr. Supreme applied for a permanent permit for this protest, the city said no. Senior Supreme would then go on to hire a lawyer known for specializing in First Amendment rights. In this attempt, he sued the city for a permit. He mostly just wanted to get his pony protest known. And this guy fucking won.
And frequent presidential primary hopeful Vermin Supreme will get to bring his ponies to a protest outside of that book signing. The city of Concord originally denied him a permit to bring the ponies, but Supreme claimed that violated his First Amendment rights and filed a lawsuit against the city.
Victory! Victory is ours! Sweet, sweet pony victory!
When the event was held, over 1,000 people showed up for the protest of the book signing, making it seem less of a protest, more of a parade. Now, Vermin Supreme is much more than just a punchline. He's actually a skilled performer, and he's been in this for almost 30 years. 1986, he took part in the Great Peace March for global nuclear disarmament, and in 87, he took his first steps into politics when he ran for a public office. His background includes work as an activist, a performer in worlds of street theater, and he's marched in protests and he's written books. He's used his political platform to bring attention to a lot of causes. When the boot goes on, it's serious business. Well, not serious, you know what I mean. When asked by Boston Public Radio why he wears the boot, he said, quote, "It is a boot that has absolute magic that has allowed me to exponentially amplify my First Amendment free speech voice and communicate with people around the world." Vermin also kind of low-key became the cryptid of the political world. He would randomly show up at just weird events, not just political events. He could show up randomly on the streets, he could show up at a gun range in the middle of the woods, or even at Comic-Con when he tried to recruit Elijah Wood and Sean Austin.
Hello, my name is Vermin Supreme. I am running for President of America in the year 2020. I am presently working on an internet-based campaign commercial. It stars me as the president of Narnia. We are going to invade Middle Earth, and I was wondering if you would reprise your roles of Frogo and Spam.
I couldn't understand exactly what you're saying, but the answer is no.
So, what's the legacy that Vermin Supreme leaves behind? Beyond the goofy costumes and outlandish promises, he's left us with something important to think about: the role of humor and satire in politics. In an age where the lines between reality and entertainment blur consistently, Vermin's candidacy shows us that sometimes the best way to highlight the flaws in a system is to exaggerate them until they're impossible to ignore. Through his social anarchism, Vermin Supreme believes that we can coexist and help our everyday fellow citizen, giving support and care to our human neighbors. And even goes as far as to declare that once he wins the presidency, as an executive order, he will demand that everyone be nice to each other. Kind of defeats the purpose of anarchism if you're forcing everyone to be nice to each other, but okay.
I would command that. Everybody help everybody. It would be an executive order.
Vermin Supreme's campaign may not ever take him to the White House, but he's shown us the importance of questioning the status quo and keeping things lighthearted, even when politics seem like the least funny thing in the world. And that was the story of Vermin Supreme. Performance artist, political activist, and boot-wearing future president that we never knew we needed. One with a message to use our brains, to stay curious, to stay weird, and to not forget to brush your teeth.
Your 30-second closing statement, please.
My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. And you can vote, and you can vote, and you can vote for me for president if you want to. And my name is Vermin. And, okay, thanks very much for coming out today. Oh, one more thing. Jesus told me to make Randall Terry gay with magic sprinkled up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Supreme. Thank you. All right.
He's turning gay.
All right. Okay.